All right, what's up, everybody? It is time for another FusionCast. I'm your host, Fusion64, and along with me every week to defend Xbox and Phil Spencer to the death is Rebel Blood 80. How you doing, sir?
That's me. That is me. I'm an Xbox fanboy. That I
busy,
am.
busy week. We got a lot to talk about in this episode. A lot to talk about.
I didn't think much happened.
Oh, no? Nothing happened in the past week?
Except for Sega dropping the mic at the Game Awards.
Oh, yeah.
Boom!
Boom. That is right.
Clear Game Awards winner.
If we have time, I want you to remind me towards the later end of the show to talk about the Sony digital stuff about them losing access to the TV shows and people's accounts getting suspended if we forget. But we've got bigger fish to fry in the beginning of the episode. I'm gonna let you. What do you want to talk about first? GTA, the Game Awards, Blade. Any other topics you want to get across first?
Let's talk about GTA first.
All right.
Since that dropped, and let me start off by saying I'm surprised that Jeff, our good buddy Jeff, didn't get the trailer for the Game Awards.
I'm not. Rockstar does. They do their own thing. I feel like the GTA is bigger than the Game Awards, and they want the stage to themselves. They do what they want when they want. They don't abide by any platform holders or anybody else. They've never had their show. I don't think they've really ever done like the E3 stuff. They're big enough where they just drop a random trailer whenever, and people come to them.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
And it's had over like 100 million, well over 100 million views already. It's crazy.
It broke the internet.
Yeah, it did. It got leaked. And then they just decided to release it the night before it was supposed to originally supposed to be shown. And yeah. What did you think of the trailer? I've probably watched it about a dozen times already.
I watched it once or twice, and it looks okay to me.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Grand Theft Auto fan. I don't like the way Rockstar's open world games play, even though, well, no, that's hard to say because I like them, but I hate the way the characters are floaty and control and have momentum and stuff like that.
Yeah, their controls are trash. I would say that. I think their stories that they tell and their worlds are among the best of in anybody.
To them, yeah.
Anybody they do it better than anybody else. But like, yeah, that's their Achilles heel is like, imagine if these games controlled like normal third person games controlled, they would be, it would be even better. Because you're smashing. I was Red Dead 2 still you smashed the X or A or B button to run like
sprint, yeah.
It's fucking stupid. But this trailer looks amazing. Just looking at the density of like the trees and the amount of different people that are in there, like different size bodies. Not everybody has the same size body. Yeah, I mean, this game just looks absolutely incredible so far, just from this first trailer, really.
It looks good now, but I'm also preparing myself for like a bait and switch.
I'm not. I don't think you're not going to see that from Rockstar. They're neither GTA 4 or GTA 5 was really a bait and switch. What do you mean like a bait and switch? Like it's going to be downgraded all to hell?
There were some leaks that have me kind of concerned. And part of those leaks have come true with what we've seen in the videos here. And if the rest of them are true, it's just going to downgrade the story, I think.
Oh, please don't tell me you're one of the ones that are like, GTA went woke because it's got you're playing as a woman.
No, I play every game I play as a woman if I can.
Okay.
No, that doesn't bother me. But the other stuff that was mentioned that aligns with that could be troublesome. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's going to be amazing.
They've never really pulled any punches with any of their stuff.
That's why I think I'm waiting for the bait and switch. That's what I think is going to happen. That we're going to get the game and it's not going to be the Grand Theft Auto humor we're used to.
Yeah, I would give them the
Not
benefit of the doubt over
the
random internet leakers. So I
the,
wouldn't
the
really.
people complain about playing as a woman. Get over it.
I think yeah,
It
she looks awesome. I mean, you know, if you're gonna be like, I went woke, they would make her like super skinny or super muscly, but she looks like an actual woman you saw
Or ugly.
in reg. Yes, yeah, I think she looks hot.
Really fucking
Yeah,
ugly.
I'm so I'm absolutely like that. I started playing Cyberpunk, and then watching this trailer has totally killed my want to play that game. To be honest with you.
You still got a long time before the game comes out, though. Plenty of
I
time
know,
to beat
yeah,
Cyberpunk.
yeah. You know, maybe probably around 2 years. Probably, unfortunately, that was the only disappointment of the trailer was that it's not coming until 2025, and no
And not the
PC,
PC.
no
Yeah.
PC.
But
They're doing what Rockstar does. They know that people will double and triple dip for their games.
that and we could expect the PC version to be broken when it releases, like it usually is for them.
Oh yeah,
But they fix it right away, so
gotcha.
I'll still be buying it on PC. Nowhere else but PC.
You're not gonna play it at launch, huh?
No, not going to play it at launch. That is not a launch game for me. That is an eventual game for me.
This is gonna be a PlayStation 5 Pro game for me because this game's gonna run at 30 frames per second. I think on Xbox Series S and X and PS5 base PS5.
I'm willing to bet even the Pro.
Well then, yeah, then I wouldn't get it on the good. Probably wouldn't get a Pro then.
Looking at it, if it looks anything like this and we're just not being fed touched up footage, if it looks like this, that's going to be insane, and it's going to bring the current systems down to their knees.
I think so because this looks better than anything we've seen, anything that's come out yet on these systems.
Yeah.
So it was a great trailer. Great. The song by Tom Petty was great to have in that trailer. All the stuff in Florida is like crazy. I'm just they're great at making. They make absolutely great trailers.
And great open worlds,
Yeah,
which I expect that to be good. I'm just, like I said, I'm worried about the humor. Because Rockstar has that specific, or not Rockstar, but Grand Theft Auto has that specific kind of humor to their games.
I mean, I feel like some of the stuff they showed in the trailer was definitely, leads to similar stuff they've had in past games, humor wise.
Yeah.
Like they're going towards making fun of a ton of people that live in Florida. It looks like really so.
Yeah. Florida Rockstar's coming for you.
Either totally, definitely. But yeah, that's something to be excited about. We're not going to hear nothing from them for probably like a year, probably. I would imagine so.
And then we'll see an early mission or something like that.
Yeah, probably. Because I feel like they do like 2 or 3 trailers. They put their debut trailer, and then they go away for like a year, and then they'll bring another trailer. And
then it's going to release, and the world's going to go bonkers.
What do you think? Do you think we're looking at fall 2025 for this game?
Easy.
Yeah,
That's an easy Christmas gift game.
Yeah, probably, huh? I was hoping like, man, maybe they'll do spring, but nah, I bet it is fall. So we're looking at like damn near 2 years away, unfortunately.
And they got to get that online working right out the door too, because that's where all their money's going to come from. That's where all their money's coming from now. That's going to be more important to them than the story GTA 6.
Right, but I wonder if they're going to actually launch with that, or if that's going to be, because I feel like GTA 5 came out like a month later or something like that, I believe.
Yeah, but look at how much money GTA 5's made for them. They're going to want that at the
right,
the
but they've got the people to screw around with for a month, and then I think it's more important they get it right than they get it out fast.
Fair, but I was never a big fan of GTA Online though.
Neither was I. I even played it played it maybe a couple years ago, and I'm like, oh man, this is kind of messed up and wild. So
yeah. But it's good to have something that good looking on the horizon.
Yeah, even though if it's a couple years away.
Because we don't have anything else from our major publishers.
Yeah, no, that really puts a damper on everything else that's coming out now. It's like, look at this, and look what we're playing. But and other big events this week. You watched the Game Awards, didn't you?
I did, live.
What did you think? What did you think about the show?
Um, I don't like the show. I never like the show. The only reason I go to the show, and probably most people go to the show, is for the trailers. I
Right.
will say though that every year I disagree with their choices, and I think their system is extremely biased.
You see that?
This year I agreed with many of the awards.
Why? Because PlayStation didn't win any. So is there a PlayStation tax this year?
There is. PlayStation got snuffed at the Game Awards.
I would disagree with the one award that Forza won. It seems people seem to dislike that game.
Yeah, that was biased.
That was really weird. That
Xbox
just seems
actually won awards this year.
that just seems like a
two.
lack of not like people don't give a shit about that category or know what they're talking about really.
But they should, because there's a huge fan base for it. But it's
Yeah,
like an elite fan base.
right. I bet I bet you like nobody like the writers that play sports games and or racing games were probably not consulted very much in that. Oh, Forza came out. Let's just give it to that.
Or I don't remember the other nominees for that.
I don't either. I wish
maybe that was their only
they should have
choice.
put F-099 should have been in that too, in my opinion. But
Yeah, that could have been in there, but that should not have won over anything else in there, because I think that new Hot Wheels game was in there.
oh, yep.
And I haven't played the new one, but playing the old one, I probably would pick the new one over Forza myself, because I do enjoy that Hot Wheels game,
Right.
the first one. But I don't remember anything else that was in that.
Zelda
But
won
Xbox,
action adventure. Baldur's Gate just cleaned house basically.
which I disagree with. That is one of my biggest disagreements. I don't think.
Well, then you just said you agreed with most everything this year, but you don't. You don't agree with a lot of the Baldur's Gate stuff. So
Yeah, I
maybe
don't.
you are. So maybe I think you are wrong that you don't agree this year.
No, I agreed with much of the other stuff. Like,
Ben Starr should have won Best Actor. I'm sorry for Final Fantasy 16.
yes, he should have.
That was disappointing.
I do not like that character in Baldur's Gate. He's annoying to me. His voice work is fine. The acting's fine. I just don't like the character. I don't see why so many people like that character.
Final Fantasy did win Best Music, so I was really one of the only
Which is what I wanted.
categories I cared about really. Was there any other were there any controversial ones really? I'm trying to think. I don't pay attention much to the awards. They don't give them much thought, to be honest with you.
Dredge, yeah, I don't. Like I said, I'm not there for the awards
No.
because I never agree with the awards ever.
And I saw a lot of
This
people,
year-
a lot of people complaining online about it. There's just a lot of ungrateful motherfuckers online complaining about like, Jeff, you did such a horrible job. You're rushing everybody off stage. Blah blah blah. It should be about the awards. Like nobody would tune in if it was mostly about the awards.
I was watching the Game Awards back when it was on Spike TV and it wasn't run by Jeff.
Yeah.
Nobody watched those awards
Nobody.
because it was just about the awards then.
Right. Yeah. Nobody watched them.
They didn't have these trailers.
And this is the reason why you have 100 million people tuning into this stuff, and then you highlight
And you
some
get
of the
the
awards.
advertisers because you have that many people watching.
Right.
It's the only way it's sustaining itself is by
Right.
having these premieres and stuff like that. So yeah,
Jeff has to put out his own money to like fund all of this stuff. I'm sure he is making a lot of money on this, but like he's out there doing the work other than these people in the gaming like industry, like the people in the game quote unquote journalists or media people that like are shit talking and bitching about it. He's actually out there doing this. Jeff Keighley's done more for the gaming industry than anybody else in the media side. So I just don't understand.
I don't like him.
I just don't understand.
But I will agree with that.
Hate he gets.
He's kind of pretentious to me, and that's why I don't like him. Like he's Mr. Video Games, and that's why I don't like him. But he is the only person doing this, so I give him credit where credit's due. And yeah,
I mean,
I'll keep watching this show.
Wasn't
and
for him, we wouldn't have this. So like people, I just don't like.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have
be careful what you wish for and you're complaining about, really.
The mid-year show either.
Right. Yeah.
Now
that Sony basically
E3
pulled out of
is done.
E3 and everybody else did too, and nobody cares about it, and yeah, totally. So, a lot of ungrateful people. But yeah, I thought overall, like usually, a lot of these years, the trailers have been kind of mid. I thought this year was a lot of good announcements, really.
I would say decent announcement.
Decent.
A whole hell of a lot of indie games, which I love. So
Yeah,
I appreciated that, but I'm willing to bet most of the viewers didn't appreciate that.
I liked a decent amount of what was shown.
Yeah, as did I.
Uh, who would you say if I was going to give you your big winners and big losers for overall for the night? Who would they be? I'm total package, announcements, awards, the whole shebang. Big winners.
To me, Sega won that award show hands down, and they didn't even win a fucking award.
I would say big winners would be Sega. Obviously, Baldur's Gate. I'd say Xbox was a big winner from the show.
Yeah, Xbox did decently, I thought, but they could have had more. They could have had so much more there.
Right, but I think that they've set the stage that you would assume that they're going to have one of those partner showcases in February. Like
they usually have one. Yeah,
so,
they usually have one coming up soon. So
yeah, I mean, it can't
and
blow their load.
We better get a date for Hellblade then.
Okay, let's stick to the format here. Big losers. Big losers.
Sony.
I was gonna specifically say Spider-Man because they were nominated for 7 awards and didn't win one. I thought so. I wouldn't put Sony in the big loser category just because they had stuff that they announced there. Well, it wasn't huge. They did have stuff. I would switch it and put Nintendo as the big loser. Really, well, I mean Zelda won for best action adventure, but other than that they didn't show up at all. Which is
but they never do, so that's not surprising.
They usually throw them a bone with like a remaster or something. They've announced like DLC. They've announced like Bayonetta there. But yeah, that's true. They don't really show too much there.
Yeah, so I really wasn't counting them, and I don't even think they care if they win the awards or not. So yeah, I guess you could say Nintendo is the big loser, but I don't count them because they don't impact them because Nintendo's not competing with Xbox or Sony or anybody. Nintendo's in their own little world doing their own little thing, being successful at it. They don't care about these game awards.
Right. That's fair.
We'll have a Nintendo Direct in January or February, and that's when we hopefully Nintendo's not the losers then because they don't really have anything on the horizon for us right now.
They do have they've got games, like the.
I mean, they got
Metroid
Fusion 4, or Metroid Prime 4, but
the Peach game,
videos.
Luigi's Mansion, remake, remaster, whatever. They got Paper Mario.
Yeah, it's a lot of remakes.
Remakes, yeah. Well, Sony did win for the best TV adaptation. So I wouldn't necessarily say they call them the big loser. We got God of War DLC that
I'm not going to play. Are you going to play it?
I want to see initial thoughts about it before I decide to download the whole package of God of War again.
It's a roguelike, and I'm so tired of roguelikes.
They had we got a date for Rise of the Ronin, which I feel like the game looked a little worse than last time we saw it in that trailer.
It's a Koei Tecmo game. It's not going to look fantastic. None of their games look groundbreaking. All of Koei Tecmo's games always look last gen to me.
And then Final Fantasy 16 DLC. I think those were all the
which came out the night of, and I went to go check the price, but it wasn't out.
It's 25.
Right after the
25 for both of them. $10 for the one that came out, I believe.
I might have to pass on that.
And it's I think like 3 to 4 hours long. It's just like another dungeon. Supposedly it's pretty good. The boss fight's pretty good.
I saw. I mean, I did beat the game last weekend, so we could talk about that a little bit. Leviathan was missing from that game, and it looks like the DLC is bringing Leviathan
That's
back.
the one that comes out in a few months. So I might just hold off and play them both when they both come out. Because I don't want to like re-download it, play this one, delete it, forget how to play it again because I've already forgotten how to play it, and then go back to the DLC, another DLC. So, but like those were neat announcements. Those were cool announcements. Nothing major.
I would say that sums up the announcements as a whole. They were all cool, neat announcements. Nothing dropped my jaw except for the one that lit the internet on fire, and my YouTube feed is just blazing with Sega love currently because of Sega's announcement.
Yeah, that was really cool that they're, basically saying, what did they announce? That they're bringing back Jet Set Radio. Help me here.
Jet Set
Streets of
Radio,
Rage, right?
Streets of Rage,
Crazy
Golden
Taxi,
Axe,
Golden
and
Taxi.
Crazy Taxi, and more.
Yeah, that was awesome, wasn't it?
Yes, and I am interested to see what that and more is. The little clips they showed look cool. I've got a bit of a caveat though. Were you a PlayStation 2 gamer?
Yes.
So back in the PlayStation 2 days, Sega released these games called Sega Ages that were like budget titles made by other developers other than Sega.
That could be interesting. Could be scary.
And yeah, I'm wondering if this is going to be something similar to those Sega Ages games, because I'm willing to bet odds are pretty high that these titles have been farmed out to other companies other than Sega. Much like Streets of Rage 4 was.
Right. Yeah, that would be...
My hopes are still high.
That would be worrisome, wouldn't it?
Yes, because Sega is showing love to their old IP, which is what everyone has been asking for ages.
Yeah, so if these aren't made in-house, then I would be a little bit concerned about that.
Yeah, and I think they're not made in-house.
Yeah, then...
Some of the stuff looked pretty damn Western to me.
Right, so yeah, then that kind of takes a little bit of the luster off the announcements then.
But that could just be me overthinking things and looking back on Sega's history and stuff like that. But everybody on the internet's all super excited for this shit. And we should start seeing some of the stuff next year.
What did you think of the closer, Monster Hunter Wilds?
I am pumped for that.
I am too. It didn't look like visually that great.
You know what, though? It looked way more open than any other Monster Hunter game I've ever played.
Right, so I'm wondering if that's the catch to this one.
Like that final shot where they showed him perched on... I'm actually looking at a picture of it now. It was just a wide open expanse. And that RE engine does a lot, but we've never seen it do a huge open world.
No, we haven't.
Other Monster Hunter games have always been kind of smaller
little sections,
vertical areas where you would the map wasn't that huge, but there was a lot to it because it was vertical. I think this is going to be different. I think this is going to be awesome.
That's 2025 as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah, another sad announcement.
Ah, man. What did you think of the big Xbox announcements?
Hellblade, I thought they were okay.
Hellblade 2 coming in 2024.
We knew that from the game being rated for what country was it rated for? Australia? I think that usually seems to be where the leaks come from.
Australia or Brazil. Brazil usually does that, or one of those countries, right?
Yeah, it's either one of them two that always seem to get the leaks through their rating systems. We already knew it was coming next year. But games don't get rated.
We already knew that from... Didn't they show that at their quote-unquote E3 and say it was 2024 as well?
Probably. I don't remember back that far.
We've seen so many Hellblade trailers. I feel like this game has been shown to death, really.
It has, but we still haven't seen much.
I know. Yeah. It's been shown a lot of times, but we haven't seen much, and it just seems like
moment-to-moment gameplay is what we need.
It almost seems like they're hiding something in this game. Like, I'm not being conspiratorial. Is that a word? But I feel like a lot of the people that are hyping this up to be like Xbox's God of War might be disappointed.
This is going to be the same battle that was fought between the systems between State of Decay and Days Gone.
I feel like this is going to be
a really great
head
to head
that are not like each other.
Exactly.
Yes, I feel like this is going to be a better Hellblade 1, better visually, better game. But like it still almost seems like it's not trying to be derogatory, but a walking simulator with combat.
Which is fine. My worry, though, is that if it's probably taken so long because it was that, which the first game was an excellent fucking story, an amazing fucking story. And they probably had something similar to that for the second game, but my thoughts are maybe Xbox is like, no, you got to put more action in it. It's got to be got to be more like God of War. Like I'm worried about interference like that, and we're not going to get the quality we did in the first game because the combat was just okay in
Yeah.
Hellblade. You didn't play the game for that combat.
Which is weird because they've made some games with good combat.
Yeah, Devil May Cry,
Yeah, DMC, and then they were the ones that did like that Heavenly Sword
Heavenly
game, right? I
Sword,
never played that, but
which it's okay.
yeah,
You should play it. It's on your PS Plus.
I'm not fucking streaming that shit.
Yeah, no, I stopped playing it because I was streaming it. It did not feel good streaming it.
Yeah.
It also felt dated. But yeah, they're experienced in combat, and the combat was okay, but the focus for that first game for them was definitely the telling that story.
And you know what? That game that they released is the end of last gen or beginning of this gen. What was it? I forgot what was it. Bleeding Edge. That game mechanically wasn't bad, like combat wise and stuff like. So they've got the chops to do that. I just think that
I never played that.
people have been overhyping this game, and I think the game's gonna be really good.
People are stacking it up against
right.
God of War.
They want the list wars and be like, oh, well, we've got this now, blah blah, blah. And I think they're trying to make it out to be something that it might not be. But I think
that hurts everyone doing that.
Right. I think this game is going to be good to great, possibly a game of the year candidate for next year. But we'll see. We still got to see more. Like you said, they've showed it many times, but they haven't showed like much of it.
Moment to moment gameplay. Like
yeah, right.
Show us a 10-minute stretch of you playing the game to see what it's like.
Right. But you know what?
These fast cuts.
The thing I was thinking of when we only got 2024 is that like with Xbox's model, they don't need like a 3-month window to be like it's coming out April 15th of 2024. Like they can just drop it whenever, really, because they're so heavily reliant on digital, and so many people are going to play this on Game Pass that like, you know, they don't have to worry about, you know, the months of marketing and pre-orders and stuff like that. So I think they're kind of playing a different game. They really don't need to have this.
No, and you know what? They've always been playing a different game, and I think that's really been hurting them. Kind of. People seem to forget or not think about like they talk about these console wars like, oh, Sony's winning and Xbox is losing, but Xbox is owned by Microsoft, who has all the fucking money in the world. Xbox doesn't need to succeed or even exist for that matter, so they can move to the beat of their own drum, much like Nintendo does.
I think that they could. That was before. I think they just spent $100 billion on all of these acquisitions. I think now they need to start. You know, the investors are going to be like, okay, we spent all of this fucking money. We need to start seeing results.
Yeah, I think the investors have already been doing that.
Not to say that they're going to like fold it. I'm just saying that before, where they were like this cute little, oh, we could just write this stuff off, we're not worried. That was before they invested all of this money and we're taking it seriously. So I think I'm not worried about them from the financial situation, but.
Yeah, no, but that seems to be where I see the arguments on the internet go. When I watch YouTube videos, it's always like, oh, Xbox is losing. And I'm like, well, no, Microsoft is still the richest company in the fucking world. Well, I don't know. I'm just saying that. I don't know if they are or not, but they're definitely richer than me. And Sony, other than Sony's video game line, Sony is struggling as a company, has been for many years.
PlayStation, I think, is their biggest department or whatever, their biggest revenue stream.
Yeah.
So.
What I'm saying is these console wars just need to end, and people need to love video games.
No, we need. They don't need to end. We need to throw gas on the fire. That's what we're here to do. That's what I'm
for
here
competition and competition's sakes only.
Right, 100%. Yeah, totally. I agree.
Because without competition, we get shit games and
we're gonna get
shit prices.
Don't worry, we're gonna get to the wars here in a second. So, you got any more to say about Hellblade?
No, it's you said it looked like a downgrade. It might look like a downgrade, but the character animation and stuff still looks fantastic to me.
I think that after I watch it again, I think it was probably just because of like the lighting, and it was like in the dark area when they were during the combat.
If you remember, my big complaint from when we were talking about this earlier in the year was that they showed a very dark area.
Yes, yeah, I remember. Yep.
To people that would be streaming it through YouTube compression, and maybe we're seeing the same thing happening here.
That's what that's what I was thinking.
Because this game better have, well, it's going to have HDR. Every game has HDR now, right? This game better have HDR and ray tracing to show off the power of the Xbox.
Yeah.
And my PC. Because that's where I'm going to play it.
We're definitely not going to be playing Grand Theft Auto 6 on my
My PC, my Pentium processor.
You know, GTA on PC is the only GTA that doesn't have ray tracing yet.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
still.
wow, fucking losers.
Unless they did an update and I didn't see it.
That's why PlayStation is the best platform. It's the best place to play.
Yeah.
What did you think about Hideo Kojima? OD.
That was a big get for Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean, where was it last year that they announced that they had a partnership with him or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's gonna be.
And
I think Kojima stuff. Say what you will about it, it's different, and we need more stuff like that. Like, I think Death Stranding is one of my favorite games from last gen. It's maybe not top 5, but it's in that category.
I gave you shit for Death Stranding when it came out because I didn't have a PlayStation at the time, I think. Or maybe I did and I just didn't have the game. But I got it on PC and I like that game a lot.
It's awesome. Like,
call it a delivery walking simulator all you want.
It's different. It's an open world game that's different from every other cookie cutter cardboard open world game.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm excited to see what this horror game is going to be.
Totally. And with Jordan Peele involved too, that's pretty neat.
He's made my favorite modern horror movies.
Yeah,
so.
I love. What's the one where the family there's the exact duplicates of them? Is that Us? Is that no?
That was Us. His first movie,
awesome.
I think, was Get Out. Yeah. So if he's involved in the writing,
is Get Out the one where like the white girl brings her boyfriend over and then the family's crazy or whatever? Is that the one?
They're transplanting the old white people into the black people. Yes.
Yeah, that movie is good.
That movie is awesome.
That movie's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I would agree. He's probably made some of my better modern ones. The new one, supposedly, is not that great.
He had one that had like an alien invasion. It was very slow. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I loved it. Okay. My wife loved it, but I could see why people wouldn't like it because it's almost a nod to really old school horror that took a long time to develop.
I have not seen that one just because of some of the reviews, so maybe I should actually give it a chance.
I loved it. It might be one of my favorite of his.
Yeah, so I mean that's cool. They're going out and getting different stuff.
Yeah. Welcome to FusionCast.
Yeah, that was a big announcement. And Jeff, I want my wife to look at me the way Jeff looks at Hideo Kojima.
Oh yeah, yeah, they make love.
He loves Hideo. I mean, he would probably just shut the whole fucking show down and just be like, okay, we're just gonna talk to Hideo for the rest of this show here.
You want to know what love is? Love was them on stage together. That is love.
That's why all those award winners only got 30 seconds for their speeches because he had to talk to Kojima for 10, 15 minutes.
100%.
Oh, that's so funny. What do you think? That game's probably not going to be a 2027, 2028 game, probably.
Well, I guess it depends upon how big Kojima's team is and who he's got working on what, because we should be expecting Death Stranding 2
this year,
first, right?
Yeah.
Because we saw footage of that.
I'm expecting it, I wouldn't be surprised to see it this year, maybe next year. There's not been any hard evidence, but people think that it might be this year. Everyone was expecting it to be shown there at the Game Awards, but he did a 180 on us and showed that.
Xbox could have dropped a whole wad of cash in Kojima's pocket and said, no, just show our game.
But also, I think a lot of that game he was originally developing that for Stadia. So you never know how much of that was already done. Similar to what like PlayStation
and how much
bought
from what the hell was that hallway game that he was making? PT.
I mean, he couldn't use any of that because that's
but he could have taken some of his
ideas,
inspiration for that. Yeah, ideas.
Right. But similar to like PlayStation bought Jade Raymond's studio, and their team was all working on a Stadia game, which we think was that Fair game. So this game might not be that far off. It might only be like 2 years off. So it all depends on what it is, really, too. So
yeah, because if it's something similar to PT and it's because PT was awesome,
right,
and terrifying,
yeah,
and it was just a very small. I don't want a small game, but if it's focused like that, it might not take that long.
Right, totally.
That's what I was trying to get at. Focused like that.
Right. Yeah. So that was cool, and then we had the big banger. Arcane Leon developing.
I was gonna say Exodus? I mean, it's good because it's definitely going to be a single player game, which Arcane should only be doing. But the people that made those awesome single player Arcane games that I love left because of fucking Redfall.
Well, that was Arcane. That's the different Arcane, though. That is Arcane Austin who made Redfall. Arcane Leon has made Dishonored and
Okay. You just rekindled my hopes for this game.
The Deathloop team.
Okay. That explains why the Deathloop characters were a mural outside the barber shop.
Okay, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Deathloop 2 because it was a mural, and I was like, oh, how are they going to do this? Because they got off the island. But nope, it's Blade.
Yeah. Third person. So that's neat.
Movie gets canceled. Video game gets greenlit.
Is the movie still looking for scripts and, all that other stuff? But, movies can come out faster than games, so.
No, I think the movie got completely canned. I think it was such garbage that it got torched.
It is not. No, it's not torched yet, I don't think.
No?
No. I mean, it's still not.
Oh.
It still hasn't started or anything. I think they're going back to the drawing board on it. Who knows with the Marvel movies? We're in movie segment again. Who knows with the Marvel stuff, I think, because they're so in flux right now. I don't think they know what they're doing, really. But what did you think? What did you think about the art style?
I thought it was okay. It looked Arcane. That's Arcane style.
Yeah.
Prey might not really look like that, but once you start looking at the characters, they have a distinct character art style, and it's in all their games. Redfall, kind of not so much, but I think that's because of the vampires.
Yeah.
But it looked Dishonored to me, even though there was no gameplay, like the art style. That kind of exaggerated, somewhere between reality and cartoonish look that Arcane does. I don't know. It's hard for me to describe.
Wesley Snipes is my Blade, so I don't know how I'm going to feel.
He's the only Blade.
He is Blade.
Forever Blade.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of like he's like Robert Downey being Iron Man for me now, I guess, basically.
But you don't believe in Iron Heart?
No. If they recast Iron Man, then yeah. What did you think about all the controversy going around the game?
Be more specific. I didn't really hear anything. I know
people were upset. I know Xbox people were wondering. Well, everybody's wondering if this is a multi-plat or if it is an Xbox exclusive, and it was really weird because they did not mention Xbox at all when they announced this game. There was no Xbox logo, splash screen, nothing. I guess Xbox was reached out to ask if this was an Xbox exclusive. They said talk to Bethesda. Bethesda said no comment.
You know what? That's fine because they could leave that up in the air. If the game looks really fucking good, Xbox can claim it and say this is Game Pass only on Xbox, right?
There was no Game Pass. There was no Game Pass.
No. I'm saying right now there's not, but in the future, before the game comes out, because they're gonna have people reviewing it internally, and if it's shaping up really nicely as something that they see, I wanted to bring this up because last week we were talking about Xbox going multi-plat, and I don't think I got my point across well enough, and I thought all week about it, and you're right, we're gonna see more Xbox-owned games on other systems, but it's going to be games that don't necessarily sell Game Pass and Xboxes. It's going to be games like games that can't hold their own on the service or Xbox.
Like As Dusk Falls.
Games like I'm willing to say we'll see the next Doom multi-plat because that last Doom did not sell as many copies as Bethesda wanted, right?
I mean, the first one was, they're both really well reviewed. They're just not like
both critical
successes,
sellers. But they're not exactly. We're going to see non-system sellers go multi-plat, and if this game turns out to be a system seller, then I think it'll be Xbox only. If it's just okay, if it's your typical Arcane game, then it's going to be multi-plat. Yeah. I bet.
It's just so weird that Xbox owns Bethesda and Arcane. You want, even if it isn't a system or a multi-plat or an exclusive, you would think you would want to put Xbox logo next to Marvel, Blade, and be like, oh, Xbox, ooh, Blade,
Unless
Marvel.
this is something similar to the MLB situation where the MLB said, Sony, you can't have the license anymore unless you go multi-plat
But
on Xbox.
even so, like
Because
when
Marvel could do, Disney could do that.
right, but I'm just saying, even if it was a multi-plat, you would think that you would want to put like an Xbox splash screen on there. That doesn't mean that the game is only on Xbox, but you want to associate that game with your
People would take it
brand.
that way, though.
You want to associate
If
that game with your brand, though.
you don't want to put PlayStation on there if it is going to be multi-plat right now, right? You don't want to do that after the backlash that happened recently.
Right, but
So-
when a game. I just think that they are clueless at their marketing and know.
Oh,
seriously.
for sure.
All those trailers at the Game Awards, the Final Fantasy 16. What did you see before the trailer started?
PS5.
Or PlayStation, right? Final Fantasy 16. Not PlayStation doesn't make that game, but you see PlayStation. What were the other ones there? I mean, obviously God of War or whatever. Anything that PlayStation, even their marketing stuff, an NBA 2K commercial. PlayStation's marketing
we
it.
did see it before Hellblade.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. You saw it before Hellblade. I don't think you saw anything with Xbox marketing for OD and nothing for Blade. It's so weird because usually they're out there like Xbox Game Pass. They'll throw all that stuff up there. And with that one, there was nothing. Like, it's just so weird. Like, especially for because that's a big get. Like, that's a big get for your platform, even just for even just for Xbox as a publisher, because they do
why?
publisher.
You could put this up against Spider-Man,
right?
Because Spider-Man is a licensed property by Sony, well, Insomniac, from Marvel, and this could be Xbox's answer to that. So you are right, but I think it's
weird.
more maybe they're playing it safe. I think.
They're playing it too safe. Like, seriously, like I don't understand.
But we don't have
business.
that old Xbox where it was the dirty system, the raunchy system. Now they're just playing it safe all over, and I think that's why they're struggling.
Yeah, I mean they're not aggressive. Like, honestly, it's just
exactly.
in just like a business sense, that just doesn't make business sense to have like one of the biggest announcements. And I think I can't imagine anybody would argue that it's not one of the biggest announcements on the Game Awards show with 100 million people watching. That you wouldn't want to associate the Xbox brand, whether you want to call that the console, the publisher, just the Xbox brand in general, with this huge announcement is just crazy. That like you don't even have to put out nothing exclusive, but you just want to associate your brand with that. And that's one thing where they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. Seriously, anything that's Nintendo, that's a Nintendo. Anything that's with even for games that PlayStation doesn't make, like I said, like NBA 2K. You see a commercial, PlayStation NBA 2K commercial, like on YouTube or whatever. Oh, NBA 2K, PlayStation. Oh, okay, like anything. You would want people to see this and be like, oh, even like people. Oh, new Blade game, Xbox, really? Wow, oh man, I might have to check that out or whatever, and you would just get it. Just I'm not a marketing major, but you would just seem that you would want that. But we've said that their marketing is piss poor.
It is piss poor, and they're not.
And this is part of the reason why that they're still somewhat struggling, depending on what you want to say. Struggling is just because their marketing is bad. Like that's a huge missed opportunity, I think.
This is also a problem for the console wars, where Xbox is not loyal to its fans, yet its fans are still loyal to Xbox.
Right. So you've got people that are in the console wars. They're like, because I guarantee if it's not an exclusive, there's going to be a ton of Xbox fans that are fucking pissed.
Any Xbox YouTuber probably has made at least a video about it.
Right, totally.
So far, complaining about it.
Right. I mean,
and I try to avoid exclusive content creators. That's why I don't watch any of your videos.
But like, just as a marketing thing, like I just can't imagine how they didn't want to associate their brand. What's the point of owning Bethesda and Arcane if you can't associate your parent brand with the games that they put out?
We got to say this to the Xbox fanboys, though, too. If this game does go multi-plat, don't be mad about it, because if it sells more copies because of that, that means we get more games from Arcane.
Sure, totally. I'm not.
Because
I'm
this
not.
is not,
I'm not the
Blade
goody-
is not going to be a system seller.
No, I don't think so. I mean, you could
I
look
really
at.
think it's going to go.
No, I mean, you look at the Marvel games have struggled outside of Spider-Man. Really,
Yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy was a really, really good game. Did you play that?
I own it twice actually, and I played it. I really liked it, but it did not sell.
Did not sell.
Well, it sold, but it did not make Square Enix numbers, and I
Right.
think that's a whole different.
That's
problem.
a different conversation right there. Yeah, but I mean, the Avengers was a commercial failure. Really, what else
And
do
it-
we have?
Was a failure too, and they had Spider-Man in it on the PlayStation.
Right. So I mean, just saying you have a Marvel game, I guess, is not a guarantee anymore. Really.
Yeah, or even just saying you have a Spider-Man in your game is not a guarantee either.
Right. Yeah.
It's got to be a good game. Well, Guardians of the Galaxy
was a good game. Yeah, and I don't know. So
But did you see marketing for it? I didn't.
for what, Guardians?
Yeah, I bought
Uh,
Guardians just because I like the Guardians movies.
I don't remember.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't
you
recall
would
seeing
you
the
would
damn thing.
you would think that just that alone would have sold that game, but it didn't.
But the Guardians of the Galaxy isn't really a popular comic book though either. I think the movies are more popular now than the comic.
I really feel like that suffered a lot from what the Avengers suffered from, like the hashtag not my Avengers or hashtag not my Guardians, really, because I feel like those characters now are all so synonymous with their actors that you see that and it's like, oh, this is the B-list, Avengers or B-list Guardians, really. So, whereas Spider-Man has been associated with so many different actors that, like, I feel like Spider-Man is just is whoever now, really. It's same with Batman, really.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point.
But yeah, I just found it interesting. I bet you the game is going to be an exclusive. It's just, I think it's probably just so early that they haven't really announced anything, and no Game Pass. I mean,
It's for sure going to be on Game Pass.
Well, I still would say that might still be up in the air because that's a deal they may have to make with Marvel Games and work out financials and stuff like that. Because Marvel is a licensed character, so Marvel wants to get paid really too. So I mean, I don't know if that's for certain either.
I think they'll have that worked out by the time the game comes out. It might not be worked out now, but
Yeah,
for sure will be.
I mean, that could be a reason why all this stuff, wasn't out there, is because it's still not worked out yet.
Yeah, but that's probably like a 2026 game.
That might even be a next Xbox game, to be honest with you.
What are you talking about? There's not supposed to be a next Xbox.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It might only be out on PlayStation. Yeah, because they said they just started on it, really. So you're figuring a minimum of 3 years, probably.
Yeah, depending upon what kind of game they're making.
Right. What would you prefer, an open world or a more linear type game for Blade?
Blade fits in perfectly with Dishonored, so I want Dishonored but you're Blade.
Okay.
Because the Dishonored first-person melee is kind of cool with the parrying and stuff. But out in the open, you aren't too strong in that game, and Blade should be stronger. So I don't know. Maybe it's the third person. I don't know. I really want to see what they're going to do. Did somebody say it was supposed to be third person?
They've already said it's in like the press release, I think, that it was third person.
Okay, I don't know what to expect then, because that's kind of outside of Arcane's wheelhouse.
Right.
Well, I think their very first game was third person way back. At any rate.
Anyway, well, before I brought up Blade, Exodus, that was one of the other big games. Was that your other than Sega, your trailer of the show?
It piqued my interest because it is what Mass Effect Andromeda should have been.
Yeah, it did
that
seem
game,
very interesting.
Even Jeff, I turned to my wife and I'm like, that looks like Mass Effect to me. And,
That's exactly
Jeff
what I
came
thought.
on stage, and Jeff's like, that looked like Mass Effect. I'm like, yeah, we need a real Mass Effect, not this Andromeda bullshit.
Totally.
So yeah, I'm kind of excited for that.
I would say that maybe the trailer of the show for me was the new Hello Games Light No Fire or something like that. I
Man,
think that's a terrible name.
you're preparing yourself for disappointment.
And the whole time when he was talking, I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, no, stop saying stuff. Don't say that. Um, but you know what? After thinking like all that stuff that they talked about being in No Man's Sky that wasn't in there, they've already got that stuff in there and worked out really. So I don't think, you know, it will be hard to implement a lot of this stuff that he's talking about in this game, as hard as it was to get it into No Man's Sky.
No, but that first release of No Man's Sky left such a huge impression that my hopes aren't high. But it looks cool.
It looks cool, but No Man's Sky, man, is amazing, and I need to get back to it.
I was looking at it in the store the other day after the award show, and I was like, huh.
I mean, I own it, so I need to actually play it in VR, to be honest.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a really good VR game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's PSVR 2 capable?
Yes.
Nice.
So maybe that's where I play it. I don't know. But yeah, that game looks crazy. I can't wait for that. Very excited.
What did you think of Visions of Mana?
Neat. I thought I was like, is this Dragon Quest? I'm like, the eyes aren't big enough to be Dragon Quest.
No, that's not a Curie,
Yeah.
what's his name's art style.
No.
But it does look like that other Mana game that they released years ago on the PS4, which was a remake of Secret of Mana 2. The art style looks very similar to that.
Okay.
It's okay. It looks kind of neat.
Yeah.
It was kind of surprise.
Yeah, definitely.
Combat looked cool.
What was the Atlas game? Was it in the pre-show? They showed that one before, though, I think, at the Xbox conference.
I don't remember if it was that during the show or pre-show, and we did see that before, but we saw more of it this time. And man, am I excited for Persona 6. That Persona 6 game they showed looked awesome. It's not Persona 6.
No, it's like a tag.
That was a bad
It looks
joke.
like Fire Emblem.
No, I didn't get that from it at all.
I mean,
it looked
the
like
art
an
style looks
open
like
world.
Fire Emblem.
It looked like an open world action RPG, which is kind of what I've been wanting.
Just the art style to me looks like a Switch Fire Emblem game.
It looked like Persona art style to me.
Wrong. That looks exciting though. I'll play
Yeah, no, it looks good.
I'll never play it though.
No, I thought you liked Persona.
No, I've only played Persona 5 for like an hour.
Oh, okay. I've been a fan of Persona since Persona 1, 2, and I never played 3, and I liked 4 and 5.
I have the original Persona 5 on PlayStation, and I'm like, I started up, and I'm like, man, should I just buy the Persona 5 Royale? I know there's a better version out here, but I don't feel like spending the money because I got this for free. So
I have Persona 2 on disc, and it's one of my most expensive games I own.
oh, nice.
Yes. What did you think about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
I mean, what did they just have, like a concert, and they didn't really show much more, really.
They showed some footage during the concert, but
I mean, I agree that that's my most anticipated game for next year. So
I disagree with that.
what would be your most anticipated game for next year?
I really think that this game should have won that. Hades 2.
Oh, that's not big enough probably to win that.
Hades 1 was huge.
Now you're thinking about the people that vote for this, though.
Probably. But it was big enough to impact reviewers and everyone.
Right.
Hades 1.
How far did you get in Hades 1?
Pretty far. I got to go back to it. I never
think I
beat
only
it.
got to the third area, I think. And that game is awesome. That game is one of the best indie games I've played in a long time. I actually, you know what? I actually did think Hades 2 was going to win it after watching. I'm like, oh, man, I don't know. Hades 2 might win that, but...
And we already know what we're getting with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Right, I'm just telling you my personal... I'm just telling you it is my most anticipated game for next year.
I'm just making my argument for why Hades 2 should have won.
Oh, okay. Well,
we know what we're getting with Rebirth because we've already had Remake. It's going to be just like that, just the rest of the game.
Well, we don't. We don't know what they're going to change in the story because they've already changed quite a bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's reason to go play the game, but I think it's... We know what Square is going to put out, and it's going to be good. It's going to be the best Square quality that Square does, even though they haven't been doing that with all their games.
And also is Hades 2. Hades 2 isn't really a story heavy game, so are we good? Is it going to be just?
Hades 1 was.
I mean, I guess not story in this. It's not like cutscenes and all that stuff. So like, if people are
Well,
gonna get
problem with Hades
bored,
1 is you got more of the story as you died, right?
right?
So the more you died, the more story you got, and the deeper you got, the more story you got. And I really dug it. I anytime there was a new god offer me an ability, I was like, yeah, I want to hear what this guy has to or lady has to say. So I'm gonna accept this ability, even though it doesn't roll with what I have now.
Did you beat Final Fantasy VII remake?
No.
Okay, I was gonna make fun of you if you beat that and didn't beat Hades.
No, I've got 2 games going on that. One on PlayStation and one on my computer.
Okay.
I will eventually beat it. I beat a game, so
Woo!
it will happen.
What else? Any other trailers piqued your interest that you wanted to talk about there? I think that's it for me, really. I can't think of what else was shown.
Yeah, actually, it was Windblown. Have you
Oh
played Dead Cells?
no. Oh, I've played a very short amount of Dead Cells.
I really like Dead Cells, so I'm excited to see what that studio does next with Windblown.
The Ori team, that game looks really good.
Yeah, I was going to mention that one too. That was it had Wicked in the title.
There's a lot of bad names this year, I feel like.
Well, they're running out of names, right?
Yeah.
How many times can you? No Rest for the Wicked.
Okay.
Which I'm surprised there's not a game named that already, a pirate game. That looked really good too.
Yeah, that did. They're a great team. So yeah,
I'm surprised Xbox didn't buy that company.
Right, that would have been a good studio to buy.
And then there was that the casting of Frank Stone. That's got my interest.
Yeah, I'm not big on Dead by Daylight, so I don't know. That wasn't really something in my wheelhouse.
I really like the games that studio makes, even though they're just kind of like interactive movies, and it's a crossover.
Oh, Supermassive,
with
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, it's
okay.
crossover with Daylight, so that could be interesting.
Supermassive is very hit and miss, I think.
Yeah,
I feel like
but they
they're
did
the
that
ones
Quarry, and I really like the Quarry.
Supermassive, the one that did Until Dawn, right?
They did Until Dawn. They did the Quarry. They did those Dark Pictures quadrilogy
Yeah,
anthology.
Switchback VR, which is kind of meh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe if it's not, as long as it's not in VR, then I think that's got a good chance of being good.
No, it's going to be. I'm guaranteed it's going to be one of their movie-like games.
Yeah.
That's mostly QuickTime events. Was there anything else? Oh, that Big Walk looked kind of neat.
What's that?
It's the one with the weird-looking bird people.
I don't remember that one.
It was by the guys that made Untitled Goose Game.
Don't remember that one.
It looked quirky. You should take a look at the video.
Untitled Goose Game was pretty neat. I did like Untitled
Yeah,
Goose
it was. And that game was goofy, so this next game, if it's just as goofy. We need goofy games.
We do, definitely.
These dark days.
For sure.
But other than that, I don't think anything really. I mean, did we really need Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons remake?
That's so weird. Like, it's this double A like indie game that it's gonna be remade, but it's not gonna look amazing because the first one was not amazing. Yeah, I don't understand. I'll probably play it because I like how I like the dual stick games where you control a character on each one is really neat. But yeah, I don't know if we necessarily needed that one. I don't know. Maybe they're like, that's your best-selling game, so let's remake it. We can make some money off of it really quickly.
I like the other games they made. I like that 2-player convict game they made. I can't remember the name of it.
A Way Out.
Yeah, that was really neat because you could not play that game alone. You had to have a friend play it with you. And I think their last game was like that too, but I didn't play their last game.
I think Brothers was probably their most successful game, I think.
Probably, because you could play it by yourself.
Yeah. That's probably why they're remaking it.
Stormgate had my interest because you don't see RTSs announced anymore.
probably a reason for that.
It's a PC strategy game, so you don't care about that.
You're right. Yeah, I think that's overall. I thought it was a really good show. I didn't,
Yeah,
I
other
really
than the
enjoyed it.
awards, I thought it was good.
You just
We
said
didn't
you
have
agree
anybody.
with all the awards.
No, I agreed with some of the awards. I agreed with more awards this year than I ever have in the past.
Okay.
Okay, there. We'll say it that way. Because I still disagreed with some of them. Like Cocoon should not have won Best Indie Game. I played Cocoon, and it's all right. It's good, but man, Dredge was so much fucking better than Cocoon.
I really wanted Dave the Diver to win. I really wanted it to win. Best
Yeah,
independent
that's
game.
bullshit.
I
They should have
really
taken
wanted
that
it
game
to.
off.
I really wanted it to win just for the controversy.
I bet it did win, but then the controversy happened, and they're like, "Oh no, we can't make this game win because then it will blow up even more if it wins."
But it's funny. A lot of the Xbox fans are now on Twitter crying that Kratos made that joke about Call of Duty's length or whatever, when he was out there. So people are all upset about him saying that because I guess I guess some of the Call of Duty devs are mad too now.
That was probably the funniest moment of the night. But it's true. That new Call of Duty just was 3 hours long. That's bullshit.
Right, yeah.
As a person that buys those games just to play the campaign, I'm not buying that game.
Right. Oh, people are mad at Jeff because he didn't address all the layoffs this year in the gaming industry.
It's not a political show. That's
right.
Or it's not a news show. It's a celebration.
Right. That's where where I say, like, okay, he's fronting the money to do all of this stuff. When you can go out and make front money and put together, I'm sure it's a ton of work to do all this stuff. I'm sure he works like year round on this, getting all of this stuff together. It's not something you whip up in a week, a month.
I mean, we're going to have our own award show here in January, and it's going to be just as big as Jeff Keighley's show.
Yeah. Right, totally.
So you could go to the Game Awards, and then you could come to our Game Awards, too, for another just as good experience.
Right. It's nice to have a show without any, like, political stuff in it.
Yes, that's the problem with the gaming industry now. It seems like everybody wants stuff to be political, and nothing should be political. Everything should just be there to entertain me.
People don't want that. People don't want it.
No. And it's becoming more and more evident that people don't want it through sales and whatnot.
Shocking. I don't even think the word Hogwarts Legacy was mentioned once throughout the whole show.
Yeah, biggest losers of the show would be Warner Brothers.
Right, yeah. Warner
Brothers had nothing. They didn't even win Best Fighting Game.
No, yeah. I mean, Street Fighter is the more... Mortal Kombat is the more popular fighter. Street Fighter is the more critically acclaimed fighter, and, the hardcore like Street Fighter better.
Yeah, plus the amount of problems that Mortal Kombat had on the Switch when it released,
but
that should bar it from winning.
Mortal Kombat makes the money, though.
Well, yeah, because of all the damn microtransactions in it.
Well, it also sells probably like 2 to 3 times the amount as Street Fighter does.
Yeah,
it's a more casual fighting game. Plus, it actually has a story in it.
Fair point.
But yeah, that's the Game Awards. We'll see the Game Awards next year.
Yeah, be here for our live coverage. No, I'm not going to guarantee that.
What do you think? Predictions for Game of the Year for next year? Game of the Year nominees. What do you think some early favorites are? I'm going to put Hellblade 2 in that category. I think I would put that in there.
I don't know. I really don't know what. I'm hoping for some surprises next year.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
That's next year, right? Yeah.
I think the original, the remake was in the list for Game of the Year for the year it came out. So we put Hellblade 2 and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in there for some early favorites. What else we got? There's whatever game Nintendo launches the Switch 2 with will be in the running for Game of the Year.
Fable's going to win all the awards next year with that beautiful woman that you play as.
Totally. All right. I talked about it earlier in the show. I wanted to bring this up. Did you hear about the all of the Warner Brothers Discovery content that is being removed from the PlayStation Store.
It's not surprising to me because Sony's already done that move with some other studios, haven't they? Where
I
you
believe this has
lost.
happened. I feel like this has happened before, but it's not just it's a Sony thing. They're Discovery Warner Brothers. I think might be removing it
Well,
from other
this time
places too.
it's Warner Brothers doing it, but the other
Yeah,
time it was Sony not wanting it on the store anymore. I don't remember what studios or what it was, but it happened not last year, but the year
yeah. I think it
before.
was like movies and stuff like this. But
Yeah,
this time you even if you own it, you can't even download it.
right, which is just dirty.
And then this is in line with there must have been some kind of bug last week on the PSN where a lot of people were getting banned from PlayStation Network for no reason.
Yeah, that's disturbing, and
Digital con,
people are right to be angry,
yeah,
and people need to fight for their digital rights because Sony's already done this, and people aren't bringing that up. They did it with PT. People that own PT, if you deleted it, you couldn't re-download it.
right. They need to do a better job of protecting the content that they license. Sony does, to where like, okay, if you don't stop selling this still has to be available for people to download if they purchased it.
And we as consumers need better rights for the digital products we buy.
Whereas like where PT is like a weird thing where I can see that because nobody paid money for that.
No, but you still,
And you don't really own it. Obviously, if you don't pay money for it, I don't
even
really
though it
think.
was free, you still initiated a transaction by downloading it, though.
No, I wouldn't go that far. You didn't pay any money, so you don't
I'm
really
going to
own
go
it.
that far because we need to fight that far for our digital rights.
You can. I'm not going to fight that one. I mean, if you pay money for it, you should always be able to. Otherwise, they should be refunding people the money they paid for these movies.
100%.
Sony should.
Yeah. And not Sony store credit.
Yeah.
I mean, I would take that,
yeah.
but
I mean, at the very minimum, you should be getting like PlayStation
yeah,
Store credit for that.
I think we might see a court case come out of this, a class action.
There should be totally. Yeah, because this
Even
shit's
though,
fucking scary. Like for
yeah,
for
it's
shit
probably
in
in
the
the
future.
terms of service that they
Totally.
could do this,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it still needs to go to court.
Like this is something that, if we didn't have fucking 80-year-old people in government, that you would that they would be, trying to come up with legislation for this
Welcome
shit.
to the political cast.
Yeah. Right.
No, I agree, and
These people in their government don't understand the fucking internet, let alone fucking shit like this.
yeah. And I could see why companies want to do stuff like this because then you have to buy it again, just like they did with VHS to DVD to Blu-ray.
Right.
You own that movie on VHS, oh, you're gonna have to buy it again on DVD because it looks better and has special features. Oh, Blu-ray's out now; it looks even better than before, and you got that huge 4K TV. You better buy it on Blu-ray.
Right.
They want to keep moving that bar, so you keep buying the same products over and over again. So I understand why companies are doing this. But it is very shady, and just give me the stuff I bought. Bastards. That's my rant.
And that's all I got to say about that. Yeah, it's a shitty situation. You just be careful with your digital purchases.
I mean, to be fair, it was only TV shows from like Discovery Network, but
this time,
that's just yeah, exactly. That's all it is this time. Next time, it's going to be the I don't know movies you bought the
right. Fuck corporations.
exactly.
You got any more stories before we get into what we've been playing that you want to talk about this week?
No, I don't think I do. I think we covered everything. If not, I forgot it because so much shit happened this week.
It was a busy week
with the Game Awards.
Yeah, definitely. I have been playing a decent amount of stuff this week. Too early to get into any Cyberpunk thoughts. I did start playing that, but I haven't really.
You told me you hated that game.
I haven't had more than a half hour each session to spend with it, and I feel like that is not enough time to dedicate to this game to get your grasp of it, and so I don't have a good grasp of it. I think I just finished the mission where, like, one of the first missions where you got to steal this bot thing or whatever. I don't know if that makes any sense, really. Where you meet, is it Dex?
Yes, I think you're right. You're still in the prologue.
Yeah, right. Where
You're
they
not even you're not in the open world. You can't leave the starting place yet. So yeah, you're still fresh. You're still a baby.
where they put you in where you can rewind in search for clues. I forgot what it's called. What is that whole thing called?
Something dive.
Is it a BD or something like that, or it's something? Yeah,
Yeah,
where brain.
brain dive or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
So
it's called BD.
I just did that where you have to go and search for that, and then like the next part of that mission where you steal the or you get this. What is it? It's almost like a not a drone, but it's almost like a walking like robot thing. I forgot, but yeah, I haven't had enough time to put with it to go with that. But I did finish the Shadows of Rose DLC for Resident Evil Village 8, and that was pretty meh.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest buying it really. It gets a little goofy. You revisit a lot of areas from Resident Evil 8 Village. You've got some new like she's got powers and like a lot of these doors they've got like this like almost like flower looking thing with like blood tendrils all over the place locking areas, and you have to use your magic to dispel these, and it's just really weird. I thought it was okay. I powered through finishing it. I actually had a glitch on a bug on the last boss where I couldn't shoot my gun, and I spent about a half hour researching what was wrong, and it turns out you had to go in the options, turn the haptics off, and then you can shoot your gun. So I almost didn't finish it.
Ha!
Yeah.
That's rare for a Capcom game nowadays.
Right. So yeah, that was really weird, and I always wonder, like, we get these cycles of Resident Evil where, like, it feels like the first one in a series starts off really more survival horror. The next one gets a little bit more action in it, and then the third one, it feels like it jumps like way too far in one direction, off the rails. Too much action, too much goofiness, and I feel like that's where I wonder if we're gonna head with Resident Evil 9.
People are saying it's going to be Resident Evil 5 next, not 9.
Well, I'm talking about in the new games.
Fair point.
I feel I didn't, and I never finished 5. I didn't like.
I liked 5.
I didn't like that it was in the daytime, and I just didn't care for it. And then 6, I think everybody hated 6. So.
I like 6 too.
Oh man, you don't like?
I don't think there's been a Resident. I don't think there's been a Resident Evil I haven't liked.
I feel like 7 was more survival horror. That was the best one. 8 was I didn't like it. It was I did like 8. It wasn't as good as 7 because it got a little too much action in it, and I feel like 9's going to go a little further. So, not too confident.
They'll just have to hit the drawing board again for 10.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I bet they are going to remake Resident Evil 5 probably. That'll be the next remake that gets made.
I don't think it should be 5. I think it should be 1. Since they have 2, 3, 4, they should go back and redo 1 in that behind the back camera.
That would be cool. I prefer 1 or Code Veronica, to be honest with you.
That would be my next want is Code Veronica, because
Yeah.
that is such a good game.
What's on your playlist? I've got a couple more, but let's you jump in here.
Well, I beat Final Fantasy 16.
Nice.
I don't think that game is as good as I originally thought it was.
Overall, maybe not. It's got great moments in it, though.
Yes. Great moments. The overall experience towards the end of the game really brought me down. I did every single side quest. And it got to the point where I got so...
I think that's why I brought you down. I didn't do any of that stuff.
Well, that's part of the game, right?
Well, no. I mean, if you did every side quest in every game, that would probably bring your enjoyment of the game down.
No. See, I'm playing Cyberpunk, and I've loved every moment of that game.
One game, other game. If ever you played a side quest in every other open world game, you would probably bring your enjoyment down.
Witcher, loved every side quest in The Witcher 3.
Okay, you've named 2 games. Name me some more open world games.
But it got to the point where I was just skipping all of what they were telling me, and I don't know what they want me to do. I was just following markers because I'm like, this is such bullshit. And you didn't do the side quest, so you didn't get to see any of this.
No, because I just did the main stuff. I wasn't doing it. I know it sucks.
Right. They tried to do the side quest.
See, you like gaming as a way to make you upset because that's why you play all of these Ubisoft games.
Yes, I'm a
And you
masochist.
choose those games instead of good games. So like when something like we already know that the side quests of Final Fantasy 16 were not good. We knew that.
You said last time that some of them were pretty good, and I'm disagreeing with you. I think they're all bad. I think they were trying to copy CD Projekt Red side quests.
Nobody was trying to copy CD Projekt Red.
Oh, for sure they were, man. Because
These
towards the end of the
two-hit
game,
wonders.
every single side quest ended with people dying. And at the end of it, I'm like, you know what? These fucking people would still be alive if I didn't do this side quest. Every single side quest was ending in tragedy for me.
We knew.
That's when I decided to start skipping all of the dialogue.
We knew that from the reviews and everything that the side quests sucked, but you were like, I'm going to do them because I like doing things that suck and playing
I want to
games
see
that
all
are
the content.
bad. So
And
but you know what?
didn't
I'm gonna give you a ton of credit for beating this game and 100%ing it because
I haven't 100%ed it yet because I'm still missing like 5 achievements.
I always
or
take
trophies.
there's no achievements in that game. I always take a dump on you for not finishing games. I'm going to give you your flowers today that you finished that game because I didn't think you would.
Thank you. Thank you for my flowers. I accept these graciously.
But the main story in that game is awesome, and there are some
Until the end.
awesome moments in that game. You didn't like the ending of it?
No,
Okay.
I thought it fell really flat for me. Once the twist happened, I'm not going to spoil it for people, but once the twist happened and you found out why things are happening, I was just like, fuck you, game. And it didn't help that, like, right before the end mission there, when I got back from completing the previous main quest, suddenly that's when 50 side quests opened up.
Yeah, that's an awful game design. I do agree with that. There's a whole bunch of
terrible
stuff that
because
opens
it's
up.
like you beat one portion of the game and then it's like everything's about to end and we're all gonna die. Oh yeah, I need you to go fetch my ring from this monster. What? Way to bring me out of it, Square.
I think it has some of the best moments this year of a game that I've played, but I would agree that like overall
It's
as
got
a game,
the best music, best voice acting, and like singular moments. Yes,
Yeah.
total game as a package. It's like a 7 for me.
I won't disagree with that. I won't disagree with that.
Maybe the DLC changes that.
No, it's more of the same. I don't think so. So you're not going to change that.
So that's my bit on Final Fantasy 16. What else have you been playing?
I have played a lot of Fortnite this week. They had their Big Bang event last weekend, which was pretty neat. They came out with 3 new games inside of Fortnite. Lego Fortnite, which is basically Lego Minecraft. Me and my son were playing that for a couple hours last night. That is really neat. That's going to be massive. And they've already broken their concurrent player record from last month with, I think they hit 7 million concurrent players.
And yet, Epic is still losing money.
Because it's giving away free games. The Epic Game Store is sinking them. And then they added like what I think it's called Rocket Racing, which Psyonix, who makes Rocket League, made, which is okay.
Yeah, that looked kind of neat.
I don't think there's much depth into it. And then they just came out today. I forgot what it's called, but it's basically like Guitar Hero with your controller.
Because they own Harmonix.
Yes, Harmonix makes that. So, which this is giving them the opportunity to add even more stuff in the store for you to buy. Which some of these car skins for this Rocket Racing are up to $40.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm like, son's like, I want to buy this. He's like, I want to buy this car. I'm like, dude, it's 4,000 V-Bucks. Do you know how much that is? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, go ahead. I'm like, I don't care if you're gonna waste your money on it, but I'm not fucking gonna keep buying you V-Bucks.
I think you're right. I think Fortnite is going to be the first successful VR metaverse thing.
I mean, it already is the metaverse. It's just not in VR.
Yeah, it is that Ready Player One, just not in VR.
Right, especially with the Lego stuff they've added. Like, the Lego stuff is cool, man. It takes not all of your skins yet are actual Lego characters, but a huge
Lego-fied.
Yeah, a huge chunk of them are. Like, I've got Captain America's a Lego one. Wolverine is. Not all of the Marvel ones yet are converted, but they said they're working on that, and they're going to get eventually all your characters. So that is really cool.
That's cool. Not for me, but cool for the people that enjoy it. The millions upon millions of people that enjoy it.
Crazy, 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 crazy. So
Just a angry old man. Get your Fortnite off my porch.
man, yeah, this game is just a juggernaut. It is something else.
And they still lose money.
Well, Epic lose money. I think they're not losing money, but they're just not making enough what they want to. They said.
Right. Same problem Square Enix has all the time. Huh.
Which is because they're making gobs and gobs of money over here, and they're spending gobs of money on stupid chasing fucking these PC criminals, basically. When they should just leave those criminals for Valve.
Yep.
So they're wasting this whole like record-breaking games as a service on this stupid chasing these scumbag criminals in PC. We should just leave them. They'd be doing so much better. But whatever.
Hey, it's fine. It just causes more competition for Valve, even though it's really not competition.
Right. Because they don't understand that weirdos will just claim their free games, never play them, and never interact with their store, but they'll claim them just to have,
Right. Which I claimed them. I have this week's.
I'm trying to think. I think that's all that I have played this week. That's it for me. Yeah, I've been playing a bunch more Halo. Halo Infinite. They added their firefight mode finally, which is awesome.
You gonna pick up that Game Pass yet?
I debated it. I thought about it. I almost bought a Series X this week, but I have not yet.
You will do it soon enough.
You are probably right. You're probably right. It was on sale for $349 this week with the Diablo bundle. Now that one's gone, but they've still had the just basic Series X without a game for $350.
Yeah, I saw that price and I was like, "Wow, that's crazy."
Totally, that's a good price.
Yeah, that's a serious discount for the system.
Yeah. So, and I mean, I wasn't worried about the Diablo because that game's going to come to Game Pass eventually. So.
Oh yeah, definitely next year it's coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Probably in time with the one of the seasons of next year. Season passes.
But I was looking.
That way
I'm excited for their games that they got coming out in the future, like Hellblade and Avowed next year. Looks really cool. But I'm like, I'm probably not gonna play a ton of this in the upcoming months because I'm gonna pull up PlayStation's first few months has quite a lot of stuff that I am excited for here.
Like Skull and Bones.
No, I'm not talking about.
We didn't talk about that game.
Oh,
that was
guy,
at the.
Yeah. That was like in the middle of the ads, so like nobody really probably paid attention to that. Like that's how
Nobody
bad
cares
the
about
game
that. Game's gonna
is
flop.
tracking. 100%. Let's see. Yeah, that game is DOA. I think they got money from a government agency somewhere out of the country to fund that game, so they're like legally have to bring it out.
Oh yeah, there's games put out by like Canada and stuff. I don't have any specifics, but yeah, it's been done before. I'm willing to bet even Ubisoft games have done that before.
Well, that is a Ubisoft game.
You remember when Rhode Island bought that?
Oh yeah, from Kurt Schilling. Yeah, he
Kingdoms of Alamar.
Yeah,
yeah,
he screwed them big time. Yeah. Yeah, so January, like in the second week of January, The Last of Us Remastered 2 comes out. Helldivers comes out in February. So does Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That Rise of the Ronin is like depending on how reviews go, that's in March.
It's gonna be middling.
So like yeah, I've got like the first 3 months of stuff that I am interested in. So like I don't know. There's no reason for me to get Game Pass and stuff yet, although I do want to play like the fucking horror game that just released on there. What was it? The EA one. But it was
Dead
Dead
Space?
Space, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you need to play that
And,
because you beat Callisto
and
Protocol.
Foam Stars comes soon. Foam Stars is probably early next year.
You'll tire of that game pretty quick.
I know. If that, yeah, I won't buy that. So yeah, first 3 months I'll be probably doing a lot of PlayStation. So I don't definitely not going to be buying Xbox with Game Pass. Although it has definitely piqued my interest, though I can't say that I have not been. That all those announcements got me hyped up. I'm excited to try Hellblade 2. Excited
Yeah.
for like I said, Avowed. Really hoping Avowed's good. I like the different, the art styles that their studios are coming out with are just a lot of variety and stuff too. So
Yeah, they're definitely not having that Ubisoft / Sony homogenized look to everything.
right, and it makes sense too. You get games out quicker.
Yeah.
Like if Blade can come out a year sooner because it's got more of a cartoony, if you want to call it, art style, less than a realistic game, that's great.
Make a smaller game, make it faster, and put it out at $40 now. People will fucking buy it.
Yeah,
Because games are too expensive now.
totally. So their future of all these platforms looks pretty bright. So that's exciting.
Well, I only have one more game, sir, to talk about, and then I think we could call this extra long episode of the FusionCast done and done. And I've been playing Spider-Man Remastered.
Wow, on the Steam Deck.
On my Steam Deck. Yes, on my Steam Deck.
Wow. What kind of
And
what kind of,
that game's okay.
what kind of frames?
I have about 45-ish,
Nice.
I'd say. I don't know. I'll pay attention next time I boot it up. It's doing well for an open world game.
Good. Nice.
Yeah,
Probably
no
looks
glitches or
probably
anything
looks
like that.
really good on the OLED too.
Oh yeah, it does. But I have one big gripe,
Okay.
and that gripe is, I mean, this is a pretty big one for me, because my old man brain. Would you say Spider-Man had Arkham Knight style combat?
Similar,
'Cause
but
I-
this is like how what we talked about with Gotham Knights. Similar, but it's not. Because like we said, Arkham Knight is a
This is the same issue that I had with Gotham Knights, because they're
yeah.
both similar to Arkham Knight, which I played, well, all the Arkham games, I played a whole hell of a lot of. So that control scheme is ingrained in my muscle memory and my brain.
right.
And all they did was move some of the buttons around. So instead of parrying / dodging with Y, you're doing that with
circle.
the circle button. And, well, it's B on my Steam Deck, but like I'm not always registering that. So I'm getting a
Right.
lot of hits.
Yeah.
And that's driving me nuts because I'm like, this is the same
Right.
kind of combat. All you did was switch the buttons around, god damn it.
Go in there. Can't you remap the controls?
You can, but I'm not going to go through all that.
Well, that's why you game on
I'll
PC, because you can, change people's works of art, and
with the Steam Deck,
bastardize
you
them.
could make macros and stuff like that. So you hit the button and it does like turbo and shit. I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, it's totally it's similar but different. It's because it's a dodge based and you're not countering in that. So
Right, you're doing the same type of stuff.
Right.
And I know what I want to do, but what does triangle do in that game instead of dodging? I don't remember what it does off the top of my head, but it does whatever triangle does instead of me dodging, and I take gunfire to the face.
You, if you have guys in the air, you can web them and slam them down, or if you're up in the air, you can grab it and you hold triangle. It webs to like bring them to you.
Yeah, that's what it does. That's right.
Right.
So it's an okay game. I'm doing all the side content first, so I've already collected all the backpacks. I've already gotten all the towers. And I'm working on getting all the photos of the landmarks, and then I'll do the story.
That's the worst of the Spider-Man games now, I think.
Really?
Yes.
You think Miles Morales is better?
Better.
The one after it?
Yes. Better story,
Oh.
more focused, less filler.
Ace great.
Yeah, less filler content, better powers. You might not like it because there's women and POCs in it, but
Why do you keep saying that?
I'm only kidding.
Trying to get me in trouble. That's not me.
I'm only kidding. Yeah, no, it's the overall better game. There's not as much filler content in Spider-Man or the remastered as there are in other open world games. But I think
There's still a lot, though.
There's still a lot. But it's a good length. It's like a 20-something hour game. But I think Miles really refines it and cuts it down. And then Spider-Man 2 is just an overall better game than both of them. So
one good thing they do though, is they don't feed you all the open world icons at once. They're all locked behind story progression.
Yes.
So you do a story mission, you get some more stuff to unlock. So
yeah, they do
once
that
it's unlocked,
too.
I do all of them. So
yeah,
that is taking me away from the story.
They do that stuff in Spider-Man 2, which is nice.
Because last night was the first night that I got the camera unlocked, so I could take the pictures of the monuments, and so that's all I've been doing in the game is getting those.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad you're somewhat enjoying it. So it's a good game.
Yeah, and I've got the next one, so I can play that. I don't know if I'll enjoy Spider-Man 2, though.
You have Miles
Morales. It's rather woke.
Yeah,
Yeah, I picked up Miles Morales. They finally put it on a good enough discount on Steam.
Cool.
They dropped it down to $30.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was a no-brainer. And I'm sure that game will look great with all the colors.
Yeah, it's definitely a more colorful, vibrant game.
OLED.
Yes, definitely. Excellent. So you're still enjoying your Steam Deck OLED, huh?
Oh, hell yeah.
Did not get to win a Steam Deck OLED from the Game Awards, unfortunately.
I did not either. You know what happened? My wife actually registered, so there's a chance that she could win. I got in there, and I was filling out the form, and the competition ended before the Game Awards even ended. I was typing in my name, and it said, "You have 5 seconds left." I'm like, huh? What? And it just ended on me, and it booted me out. I'm like, oh, fuck you, Jeff Keighley.
Oh, man.
So, I don't know. Maybe my wife will win one. And then I'll sell it to you.
Hopefully, that'd be nice. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this extra long FusionCast. What do you think?
Yeah, don't get used to it.
Unless you want to go on a rant about something.
I've got nothing else to rant about.
All right, well, thanks everyone for joining us, and we will see you guys next week on either Thursday, Friday, or Saturday.
Yeah, pick one.
If we're not back on that day, just come back the next day. We'll be back.
The FusionCast RNG. When will it happen?
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you.